A young woman, 8 months pregnant, vanishes without a trace on Christmas Eve. What seemed like a perfect life soon unraveled into a chilling story of lies, deception, and murder. This is the tragic case of Laci Peterson. December 24, 2002, Modesto, California. 27-year-old Laci Peterson, glowing with anticipation for the arrival of her first child, disappears. Her husband, Scott Peterson, tells police she had gone out for a walk with their dog, but never returned. Scott claims that morning he went fishing at the Berkeley Marina, about 90 miles away. When he returns home later that day, Laci is nowhere to be found. Their dog, Mackenzie, is discovered wandering the neighborhood with its leash still attached. Alarmed, Laci's family contacts the police and the search begins. Laci's mother, Sharon Rocha, immediately knows something is wrong. Laci wouldn't just disappear. She was excited about the baby. She had Christmas gifts wrapped and ready. It wasn't like her to just leave without telling anyone. The search for Laci begins immediately. Family, friends, and volunteers flood the streets with flyers. The media picks up the story, turning it into a nationwide case. Candlelight vigils are held. The community rallies around the Peterson family, hoping for Laci's safe return. But as days turn into weeks, doubt begins to creep in. The public notices Scott's behavior seems off. He avoids the media, refusing to show emotion in interviews. When Laci's family pleads for her safe return, Scott appears detached, his responses rehearsed and cold. His lack of grief is unsettling. He does not participate in search efforts and even avoids staying in his own home, instead choosing to stay with family and friends. Even more suspicious, police discover that Scott had sold Laci's car shortly after her disappearance. He also inquired about selling their home, as if he had already accepted that she wasn't coming back. Investigators also find it odd that Scott immediately offers up his alibi, his fishing trip, before they even ask where he was that morning. Something isn't right. As investigators dig deeper, they uncover Scott's darkest secret, an affair with a woman named Amber Frey. She comes forward, revealing she had no idea Scott was married, let alone expecting a child. Recordings of Scott's phone calls to Amber expose his lies and deceit. In one chilling call, Scott tells Amber he's spending the holidays in Paris. In reality, he is attending Laci's vigil, standing among mourners while secretly living a double life. The revelation shocks the nation. It is now clear, Scott was not a grieving husband. He was hiding something. Amber agrees to cooperate with investigators. She records phone conversations with Scott, hoping to gather evidence. In these calls, Scott never once mentions his missing wife. Instead, he talks about his future with Amber, as if Laci no longer exists. April 2003. A couple walking near the San Francisco Bay makes a horrifying discovery: the remains of a woman and an unborn baby. Days later, DNA confirms what everyone feared. Laci and her unborn son, Connor, had been found. The condition of their remains suggests they had been in the water for months. Investigators recall Scott's alibi, the Berkeley Marina. Suddenly, everything falls into place. Authorities move quickly to arrest him. Scott Peterson is arrested on April 18, 2003. Authorities find him in his car near the Mexican border, carrying cash, multiple cell phones, camping gear, and dyed blonde hair, suggesting he was planning to flee. His trial grips the nation. The prosecution presents damning evidence, including Scott's behavior, his lies, and the location of Laci's remains. The defense argues there is no physical proof tying him to the murders, but the jury doesn't buy it. On November 12, 2004, Scott Peterson is convicted of first-degree murder for Laci and second-degree murder for Connor. Throughout the trial, shocking details emerge. Witnesses report seeing Scott at the marina on the day Laci disappeared, struggling with what appeared to be a heavy object. Experts testify that the currents in the bay could have carried Laci's remains to the locations where they were found. The prosecution paints a horrifying picture. Scott, unhappy in his marriage and eager to start fresh with Amber, saw Laci and their unborn child as obstacles. Instead of divorce, he chose murder. In 2005, Scott Peterson is sentenced to death. The verdict brings relief to Laci's family, but it does not bring her back. Her mother, Sharon Rocha, continues to advocate for missing persons and victims of domestic violence, ensuring that Laci and Connor are never forgotten. Over the years, Scott Peterson's legal team fights to overturn his conviction. In 2020, his death sentence is overturned due to jury selection errors, and he is resentenced to life in prison without parole. He remains incarcerated to this day, still maintaining his innocence. Even now, the case continues to captivate true crime followers, a chilling reminder that sometimes the people closest to us are capable of the unimaginable. In the years following the trial, Laci's family has kept her memory alive, turning their grief into advocacy. Sharon Rocha published a book about her daughter's case, and the family has worked tirelessly to push for stronger laws protecting pregnant women from violence. Scott Peterson, now in prison for life, continues to file appeals. In recent years, some have questioned aspects of the case, debating whether the evidence was truly conclusive. But for most, the weight of circumstantial proof is overwhelming. Laci Peterson's story remains one of the most haunting and heartbreaking true crime cases in modern history. Thank you for watching. If you found this case intriguing, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more real-life crime stories. Stay safe, and see you next time.